God. This girl was not in my room for an hour, and now, right before I'm supposed to film, she wants to come in here. Hello, welcome to another video. Hopefully will not be sabotaged too much by my girl Peach here. She really likes getting herself involved whenever I plan because she likes the pens and she likes rubbing her head against the journals for some reason. First of all, big thank you to everyone who subscribed recently, who have found my channel and watching the videos, etc., and leaving all your fun comments. We've hit 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 102 right now, and that's a really big deal for me. So thank you so much. I've been working on this YouTube channel for over a decade, just trying lots of new things. So finally hitting 100 subs is really cool. So thank you everyone for subscribing recently and enjoying the content, and I hope that, you know, you keep enjoying the content. To kind of celebrate, I thought I would do a plan with me video. I have not done one of these in a long time. I think the last time I did this was back when I was still bullet journaling. I think was the last time I did this, which was pre-COVID. But I have to plan anyways, and I figured why not do a plan with me video. Celebrate the new subs who I imagine are here for some planning content. So I'm gonna do this where I kind of just am quiet. We'll have some fun ASMR-y with some music, planning time, and then afterwards I will go through what I did and kind of walk you through kind of, you know, the plan, so to speak. So that's my thought, although I will say, just to preface, that I'm trying out a new schedule. So you'll see me referencing this right here. This is my Q4 goals brainstorm, and this is the new schedule that I'm trying out right now. So I'll be having this open on the side here as I plan. And yeah, and we'll kind of dive more into it after I have finished, if this girl will let me. I've got my Google Calendar up, so go get your Google Calendar up, go get your planners, go get your mild liners, go get your pens, get your cat, I guess, and your tunes, and let's plan for this week. Okay, we have finished doing the plan with me. Peach is, I don't know if you can see, but she's finally calmed down. So now let's go over the actual, what I did. So you probably noticed that I started by drawing. So because it's October, I've been doing my own kind of version of Inktober where I try to draw something every day. It's just super tiny, super small, just trying to draw something in ink every day. So that's, that was the thought. So this was my mom's birthday. This is supposed to be one word, but I ran out of space, so it's all weird. But anyways, and then obviously meow-ney, my lobster, which is slowly becoming some sort of channel mascot, honestly. Peach staring at my planner. We went to a pumpkin patch yesterday, and it was honestly not worth how expensive it was, or the hour-and-a-half drive over there. Maybe I'm just spoiled by New York East Coast pumpkin patches, but this one was not it. They did have some good pumpkins. The maze was pretty good too, but when my fiance turned over his pumpkin, one, there was lots of mud on the bottom of the pumpkins, and two, there were worms in the mud on the bottom of his pumpkin, so it was really gross. And then obviously, thank you for 100 subs, although right now we're at 102, but thank you so much. So now onto the actual plan with me. Now, I mentioned I am trying out a new schedule. So prior, I don't know if I talked about this in video or not, but I was trying some new thing where I was going to not have a wake up time, not have a bedtime, and I was just gonna kind of vibe and do my tasks and then have creative after hours sort of thing. What ended up happening is, even though I enjoyed sleeping in super late and staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning, it left my brain feeling just way too unfocused and unstructured. It was too much freedom, and I felt like I didn't have a good direction of what I was even supposed to do. So my compromise then became, we're not going to do waking up at 6 in the morning. We're also not enjoying not getting out of bed until 11. So this is the new schedule that I have decided to go for, which is basically my alarm goes off at 9, wake up, take my meds. I'm out of bed by 9:30, no later than 10, but ideally by 9:30. And then I start my morning routine, from 10:30. Well, I do my morning routine and I run. So the morning routine should ideally be from 9:30 to 10:30. And that is doing my breakfast, my vitamins, my skincare, brush my teeth, floss, some small chores like bed and the litter. Doing morning pages. I have started reading Artist's Way, and not my favorite. I'm not really into all the God talk. People described it as woo-woo, but I'm gonna be frank with you. It's a lot of God talk. And I know that she says, I can make a whole video on this. I know that she says her God does not necessarily have to be the Christian God, but she'll say that in one breath and then still refer to this being as capital G God and also talk about Jesus. So I don't know, it's giving underlying tones of Christianity and a lot of extra work for the reader to have to distance themselves from that language if they don't like it, instead of the author just using a different word. Because she could have easily used a different word and saved everyone a lot of headache instead of using capital G God when she really means good orderly disorder or whatever, good orderly direction that she meant. She could, G-O-D lowercase, G-O-D all capitalized with periods in there like an acronym, but no, it was just capital G God, and I don't know. That's really difficult for me to get through as someone who is A, not Christian, but B, went to Catholic school, and C, still has religious trauma, even though my family was not religious. But whatever. It's kind of difficult for me to get through right now because of the language and just, I don't know, the rest. There is like a woo-woo vibe to it that I'm not super into. But what I do like about it is the morning pages, which I finished my last journal and I've been using my Totoro journal. I know I said I was going to use my red Anna Green Gables journal, but I finished my blue Little Prince journal so quickly doing the morning pages, which was actually where I drafted this stuff out, that I had this whole dilemma of like, do I use the red journal now or do I use this and try to like use this to fill out the rest of 2025 so I can use the red journal at the beginning of 2026. So that's kind of what I'm doing because this has only so many pages. So this is what I've been writing in. And it's nice because it's like lined paper, so it's a determinate amount of wording. Anyway, so that is also part of my morning routine and then like my stretch. Then from 10:30 to basically 12:30 is my running time, which my running is usually Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then if I'm not running, then my errand/strength training, which I'm so bad at doing my strength training. Then I have lunch and a shower from 12:30 to 1:30, and then 1:30 to basically 7:30, I have work between two different clients. Then dinner from 7:30 to 9:30, so cooking or just eating dinner and TV, etc. Then Korean from 9:30 to 10 for 30 minutes. This is new. There was a time when I was doing pretty good about Korean when I was doing it in the morning, so we'll see if this slots in or not. And then afterwards from 10 to 1 is my creative after hours or free time for 3 hours. And then my nighttime routine, and then I go to bed, be in bed no later than 1:30. That is kind of the goal. And creative after hours, the idea is one day each, I use the 3 hours for something, whether it's filming a video, doing the artist date, or a hobby, which I also did like that concept from Artist Way. Working on my webcomic, working on my graphic novel pitch, working on my art business, I guess. And then on the weekend, plan for a week, have a long run, and then try to work on Portal House. And then sometimes I go to Gundam Locals, so these are things I can swap out with Gundam Locals every 2 weeks. And yeah, so that is basically the new schedule I am trying for the second half of October. I started this last Wednesday, I want to say. And so far I'm liking it. Like, I'm even setting the 9 a.m. alarms. Like, I'm keeping that every single day, including the weekends, just so it's like, hey, remember to take your meds. Even if we don't get out of bed at 9:30 or we wait until 10 or 10:30, it's still keeping me on a regular schedule and I am still enjoying it, but my period is coming up soon, so we'll see what happens there. That is basically what I'm using here. You'll notice like this is kind of different and also different from, I don't know, some other stuff. So yeah, so Monday, my regular schedule, fiance has hockey, so I put video edit ? And here also writing. But I realized as I was doing this that I may not actually do these on these days, but more in that later. But yeah, so basically my day, just giving myself the task of running, because each task, you may have noticed, these cute little Tamagotchi tape sticker things, which is every time I check off a task, I give myself a sticker, which I believe I touched on earlier. So here's some stickers here. But yeah, I've been using the Tamagotchi deco roll because why not? It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Sorry, everything. Normally my stuff is not this like crazy, but as you saw, Peach was going all in on my hand, and it was also kind of difficult just doing it without being able to like get my head all in here. But that is basically the week. I've realized that if I don't plan out my week ahead of time, like at the beginning of the week like this, and like time block my schedule, I feel really like untethered and not in a good way. Something else you may have noticed that I did was I went in and updated my mileage. So we are almost at 277 miles, which is so exciting. This is definitely the closest I've gotten to this, and the year is not even over. I feel very confident about hitting this. So it's just been really nice, just slowly working towards that running goal. So that was also something I wanted to fill in. That is basically how I plan in the techo. And then in here, so generally what I do, and I didn't quite do this last week, but I usually do this, is I divide out this section into like by 2 different clients and my personal stuff. And then here this is really useful for me to write down like how many hours I worked and how many hours I have worked so far, just so I can double check it against my whiteboard and vice versa. So my 2 clients there, I'll probably fill this in later for my work stuff. And then for creative, so this is why I wanted the weeks, because what if like, you know, I have my creative after hours, I'm like, okay, video edit. But when I actually get to it, I'm like, actually, I'm in like a big writing mood right now. I don't want to edit video. So I have this over here of like kind of the running tasks for the week that's not assigned to anything. So the thought, ideally, which I kind of jumped the gun on here, but ideally I would look at this and then migrate these into the actual to-dos on like, okay, today this is what I want to do or what I need to do, sort of thing. Or if I'm not sure what I want to do, I can look over here, see, and be like, okay, I'll work on this. And then I can kind of afterwards retroactively add it in, cross it off, give myself the sticker. So that's what I have here. Basically edit this video, write a chapter for my webcomic, color some pages in my graphic novel pitch, work on my family zine piece. That's kind of like art business thing. I'm not gonna make money on it, but it's related. I need to work on that anyways. Come up with some sort of artist date. I don't know if I want to work on some miniatures. I recently bought this. There's a Row-Life store in the San Jose, that big mall in San Jose. And they have a Row-Life store in there, and this looked so cute. And I recently also bought all the necessary tools for this. So I'm like, oh, maybe I could work on this. So I don't know if I want to work on this during my artist date, or if I want to work in The Sims, which does not feel like work, but you know, I have to literally schedule out days that I play The Sims. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do The Sims and kind of recreate the house that's in the webcomic and the characters, because last time I did it was last year and so much has changed and come out in the game that would be like perfect for the characters. So I'm thinking about doing that. I've been wanting to like do that for a while. And the way I'm treating the artist date is literally like things that I'm like, I really want to do this, but it just takes lower and lower priority because it's not as like important, but I really want to do. I just want to find time to like put that in, which is the whole concept, right? And then I did not get a chance to work on the residency I wanted to do last week. So now this one I'm like, okay, I should at least look into if I want to work on this one or not. And then I need to schedule some venue tours. And there's like maybe a couple other things I might want to do. I'll add that in there as I think about it. But yeah, that is basically the scheduling. That is how I plan. I had my Google Calendar up on my monitor for me to check. And so I was just referencing that. Often I'll use my phone sometimes, look at my to-do list, reference that stuff. And then throughout the week, I kind of use both of them. And then I try to doodle or write little notes about things that I heard or quotes or whatever. And I move on. So that is the Plan With Me video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have anything fun planned this week, and let me know how you tend to plan. Like, is this kind of your general planning process? Do you use this time blocking section, or do you use this completely for journaling? I know some people really don't like to use this at all. I really like it. It's super helpful for me. Even if I don't reference it all the time, it's almost kind of like a glance at it and like, oh yeah, I have that thing, or kind of to-do list sort of situation. My cat is trying to attack my fishing pole. Anyways, thanks again so much for watching. Thank you again so much for all the subs. I hope you enjoy the videos I continue putting out. It won't all be planning videos, but I do really like making planning content, so I will try to make more of that. But I hope you enjoy the other non-planning specific stuff that I put out as well. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.